Have you ever struggled with balancing your emotions and feeling happy and calm at the same time? Hey, everybody, welcome back to the channel. I want us to talk about the art of mastering how to balance your emotions. And this is not only going to be good for your own well being, but this is amazing. This is going to be excellent for your relationships. All right. Hey, everybody, it's Dr. Nicole. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share. So let's talk about what is the art of mastering your emotions and trying to attain emotional well-being, and why is this important, right? There's a lot of research, as you can imagine, around this. One study conducted at the University of California, Berkeley, suggests that emotional balance is not about suppressing negative emotions. So that's a misconception, or about chasing happiness relentlessly, like trying to push away anything negative. Instead, this study shows it's about embracing the full spectrum of emotions while being able to develop a level of resilience and a sense of inner peace. So it's really about understanding that your sense of calm and balance comes from within, and you don't have to chase something outside of you. You have to be okay with experiencing all of the emotions, right? We're humans. We're going to have high points and low points. If we only had happiness, we probably wouldn't appreciate it as much. And if you've ever seen the movie Inside Out, it talks about the importance of some core emotions, such as sadness, which has a really important role in our lives, anger, excitement, frustration, disgust, all of these. So it's not only happiness that we have to accept. So having emotional balance is not about suppressing anything. It's actually more about leaning into all of your emotions. And it creates this interesting paradox where the more you try to push away certain emotions, I know people who, whenever there's any hint of discomfort or an emotion that doesn't feel good, they're constantly trying to distract themselves or do something to push that feeling away because they don't want to feel it. The odd thing is, the more you do that, the more those feelings get pushed down, but they never go away. They never get dealt with. And then they sometimes come roaring up, they come bustling over at the smallest or slightest trigger. So, one of the key things with mastering your emotional balance and being able to have that sense of happiness and calm is embracing all of your emotions, including the negative ones. Okay. And this is important because we live in such a fast paced world. Sometimes it feels like there's a lot of chaos and it can feel elusive to even find a sense of happiness and calm. But I want you to understand that there are some specific steps you can take to be able to embrace that all the fullness of all of your emotions and to be able to master emotional balance. Okay. So I'm going to give you 5 different things, actionable things, things that you can actually work on. But one of the key ones is understanding the mindset of emotional balance. And the mindset of emotional balance says that there are no bad emotions. Emotions are actually signs. They give us information. They're almost like there are our signals. There are navigators through the world. They're our compass. So when we feel certain emotions, they either tell us that there's something unbalanced within, or is there something that needs to be changed or attended to or adjusted outside of ourselves. So, for example, anger could tell us that there's something that needs to change. Our boundaries are not being respected. We're not being treated fairly, right? Or if we are constantly angry, that could be an internal imbalance where we need to figure out if we're holding on to something, if there's really sadness underneath that anger, right? So emotions are signals about something, how balanced things are either in the outer world or within. Okay. Also, you have probably heard the term toxic positivity. So, of course, we all want to have that experience of feeling happiness and I would say joy. Um, but we don't want it to come at the expense of constantly ignoring other feelings that we have. And so there's some people who are, you could tell there's a sense of toxic positivity because it's almost like it's a facade. It's a bit fake. They're putting on a mask because they don't really want to acknowledge the other feelings that are there. Okay. So the mindset of emotional balance says that there's no bad emotions. They're all just information. And it's up to us to be able to interpret the information. We need to understand if there's something unbalanced within us. And sometimes that imbalance is really, it could be like fixed with things like sleep, adequate sleep, um, making sure we nourish ourselves, eating, making sure we communicate important feelings to people that are close to us, um, making sure that we exercise, right? Like having balance in our lives. So I want you to remember that key mindset around emotional balance. Also, recognizing that it's possible to have a sense of calm and happiness and inner peace, even in a world that feels chaotic. And the mindset around that is that you focus on the things that you can control. There's so much going on all the time, either in the bigger world or with people you know. There's so many things that are outside of your control. And if you focus on those things, you're not going to feel like you have a sense of calm or even happiness. It's important to understand that the things that you can control, such as your perspective, how you respond to things, your attitude, whether learn to see the glass as half empty or half full. All of those things are going to be what determine how happy and calm you're able to feel. Okay. So I want to talk about these strategies that you can use to develop or cultivate the emotional balance and the emotional resilience that you'll want to have. And I said earlier, these things are going to be key for your relationship because what are both men and women saying that they want in a relationship these days? They want someone, are you hearing this a lot, right? Outside of the six figures and the 26-inch waist, what are people really saying they want? Underneath all of that, it's emotional intelligence. People are saying they want someone who can communicate, someone who is self aware, someone that can be a partner and reciprocate, right? And all of those qualities, you can't have them without emotional balance. So, mastering this is also going to be part of mastering your relationship, ladies. I'm especially talking to you. We know we're emotional beings, but we're also highly emotionally intelligent. And with our self awareness and the right strategies, we can certainly master this art of emotional balance. So, one is being able to consistently practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is that practice of focusing in the present moment, and even doing that just 5 minutes per day. Sometimes starting with 3 minutes per day, where you're noticing without judging. Once we notice, we become more aware. When we judge, we tend to try to suppress what we're feeling. So mindfulness, where you take time either to deep breathe or to listen to a guided meditation, and you are focusing in the present moment, observing, noticing your thoughts, your sensations, and focusing on not judging. That is key, and that builds a level of balance that just accumulates, it builds over time. That allows you to be able to respond to things, to take that pause that I always talk about. The pause is key when it comes to communicating and learning not to react and overreact, and knowing your triggers. So, mindfulness is key. Finding and cultivating supportive relationships. And this means it's about the quality and not so much the quantity. When we were little kids, right? My daughter just said to me, Mommy, I have this many friends. When we were younger, a lot of times it was about the number of friends, right? Were we popular, or how many people knew us or liked us? We're now in an age, especially with a lot of superficial, like social media relationships and so forth. We're now in an age where we understand that it's about quality. Are there people who can pour into you? Are there people that you can trust that are on similar paths? It comes a time where you want to get in community, or you want to be around people who are supportive, and that even if they're not doing exactly what you're doing, they have a similar mindset in terms of understanding how important support is, how important it is. Not that everything is going to be you do this for a person, they do the exact same thing, but there needs to be some level of reciprocating and give and take. Those social connections are going to be key to helping you to understand how to be aware of other people's emotions, but also having a sounding board and a place to share what you're going through when you're going through certain emotions. Okay. The other thing is physical activity. I talked earlier about that balance. Sometimes when you're off balance, you just have to like eat a little bit. You got to make sure you're sleeping, drink water. Well, physical activity is key. It helps, those the endorphins, those feel good chemicals that come with exercise, intense exercise. But just overall, they help to balance out our hormones. They help us to build muscle tone and feel help us to feel present in the moment. There's so like really, really physical activities are key to our physical health, but more than that, our emotional well-being. You ever just feel like you're overwhelmed with something and you go out and take a walk, or you go do something, right? Um, Either go for a run if you're into that, or sometimes it's just as simple as doing some jumping jacks, or doing some stretches, or doing something that gets you into your body. It could be if you have a hobby that you actually, and here's the thing, hobbies that involve other people, it's like hitting two birds with one stone, because you get that social interaction and you get that physical activity. So join a gym, go join a running club, go on go with a hiking group. Have physical activity be a regular part of your life, and have a variety of physical activities, so that you're not just saying like, oh my God, it's too cold, I can't do it. Okay, so then what can you do in the house? In your relationship, this can be a really great way to bond with your partner, because you're both getting healthy. It's very sensual and intimate to do certain exercises together, and it's a way to connect with each other. Okay. The other thing is learning to cultivate joy in your day to day life. Sometimes we get so focused on goals and chasing this and chasing that, and we forget to enjoy the moment. Whether it's food, like right after this, guess where I'm going? I'm going to get I'm going to treat myself to a nice chocolate croissant at a bakery that's right across the street. Sometimes you have to allow yourself to experience things that feel sensual. Eating is a sensual activity because it's tapping into your senses. And cultivating joy could be laughter. It could be taking time to enjoy the weather outside if that's available. It could be having a fun conversation with someone. It could be that inner child stuff like coloring, getting a nice treat, ice cream, something that really brings you into enjoyment and a sense of happiness. Okay. Don't feel like you don't deserve it. Understand that you get to cultivate joy in both small and larger ways throughout your daily life, throughout your life in general. And this, when you do this, ladies, when we talk about that feminine energy, you are inviting, you are attracting, and you are able to receive healthy partners, people who are healthy and who are also not just in survival mode, but they are in thriving mode and they want to see you thrive as well. Okay. And then finally, again, a part of your routine, self-care. You're going to hear me say it over and over and over. Too many of us neglect ourselves, whether it's just from our day-to-day routines and habits. And when we do that, we set the stage to be emotionally imbalanced. We're not taking time to nourish ourselves and pour into ourselves. We're not taking time to reflect. One form of self care could simply be journaling for 5 minutes in the evening to take stock of your day and have some sense of like self reflection, right? It could be other things that are more around taking care of your body scrubs, massages. There's nothing I love more than traditional Korean body scrubs. If you want soft, glowing skin, go do that, right? You won't need lotion, anything. Facials, walking, luxury experiences, or simply self reflection, eating good foods, and making sure you get good rest. Okay. So I want you to think about what are the areas where you are struggling with emotional balance. Are you suppressing your emotions? Are there things that have happened that you haven't processed and you need to learn to let go of or communicate about? Are you running yourself ragged into the ground? And therefore, that's making it hard for you to feel inner peace and calm. Figure out where the are and figure out how you're going to master the art of emotional balance. Okay, let me know in the comments. Do you implement any of these tips? What has helped you, and where are you trying to develop more emotional balance, especially as it pertains to elevating not only yourself, but your relationship as well, or attracting the relationship that you want? Don't forget, everybody, to subscribe to the channel, hit the notifications bell, like, and share this video. This is Dr. Nicole, and I'll see you next time.